Phobos, the fourth story in the first series of the Eighth Doctor Adventures and Big Finish, and the fifth episode overall, written by Eddie Robson and first broadcast on the 28th of January 2007, and then released in May of that same year across CD and download. The TARDIS arrives on Phobos, one of the moons of Mars, and while Lucy is still a little annoyed that the Doctor still hasn't managed to get her home to Blackpool, they find that Phobos is now full of mainly extreme sports nuts. I mean, they've built on Phobos the Martian Lunar Park, a place where it's mainly an extreme sports centre, where extreme sports nuts, also known as adrenaline junkies, or as they are now called, drennies, can seek out kind of extreme sports. These extreme sports include things like gravity boarding and wormhole jumping. Not actual wormholes, granted, but at the top of one of the mountains is a hole in the ground, which is referred to as the wormhole. Nobody knows quite how deep it is. It might be endless. They've no idea. Nobody has ever reached the bottom. But what people do is attach a bungee cord at the top and then go jump in, and whoever gets further down gains the most respect. I mean, it's longer than 3 kilometers, so they're out to seek it. While there, they end up encountering several characters, including 2 of these drennies, named Drew, voiced by Ben Silverstone, and Hayden, voiced by John Schwab. They're 2 kind of drennies who are kind of seeking out fun and seeking out extreme sports. There is also a mysterious man on Phobos called Kai Tobias, voiced by Timothy West, who claims to have stories of mysterious creatures and monsters that roam around Phobos and cause problems. There is also the camp engineer named Eris, voiced by Nerys Hughes, and a married couple who have arrived named Amy, voiced by Katarina Olsen, and Thal, voiced by Tim Sutton. Thal noticeably seems a bit on edge, and he's not human. He's a Githian. And that somewhat causes problems for them because his family, as Githians, are a bit traditionalist. They believe that Githians should marry other Githians. And I can't say exactly what Githians look like because obviously there's an audio story, but I just kind of imagine them as kind of humanoids, but maybe kind of a bit larger and a bit taller and a little bit more like Hagrid. I mean, Lucy refers to them in the story, as Hagrid, so I guess that's a fair point of reference. But anyway, as I said, his family as Githians believe that Githians should marry other Githians, so they're kind of in a difficult spot, and he feels like ideally he should kind of break up with Amy, they should go their separate ways. To which Amy kind of understands why he's doing this, but at the same time things are kind of complicated for her because she is now pregnant with his child. And over the course of the story, you do get to see the kind of ideas of prejudice with those 2 kind of... especially you hear stories of a religious prejudice or the like, and people saying that people from other religions can't marry each other, but they can. We've seen it work in society. And it does give a quite good commentary on that. But, of course, this being Phobos is actually the ancient Greek word for fear, and that proves to be more than they anticipated when the Eighth Doctor and Lucy discover that people are being attacked in the past, people are being killed, and eventually it's discovered that in the wormhole, that while nobody has yet reached the bottom of it, at the bottom of it wasn't like solid ground or like, but was rather an entity of fear that's been feeding off people's fears and trying to embody itself. And overall, while I don't know if this is necessarily the strongest story of Big Fish overall, it's a fun one to think about. I mean, just having a Martian lunar park on a moon of Mars where people can go seek out extreme sports, it sounds like a good location. I mean, it's eventually revealed that creatures known as Phobians that are working around aren't actually real creatures, they're actually robots. Have been sent by Kai in order to try and dissuade people from coming here, but then the entity of fear, it was kind of embodying itself off of people's fear, especially if you come to extreme sports, you're looking for adrenaline, and adrenaline and fear go hand in hand. So I think overall this is a story that it provides some fun. It's not that heavy-handed, but at the same time, it provides a good time. I mean, I think if I compare it to the last Big Finish Doctor Who story I listened to, which I think was Immortal Beloved was a lot more kind of serious, but at the same time it had some weight to the storyline. This one's a little bit lighter, but a bit more fun. And at the end of the story, another character voiced by Katarina Olsen is shown to kind of be waking up having suffered somewhat of a head injury, and she finally wakes up and asks, has Lucy Miller been here? It's like, oh no, she's been and gone, love. It's like, typical, I fall on my bike and she comes and goes, like, she's the headhunter, and this time she goes, well then, I'm going to have to do this myself. Which leads into the next Doctor Who Big Finish story in the 8th Doctor Adventures, No More Lies. What do I think of that one? Well, I'm probably going to listen to that one tonight, so hopefully by tomorrow I'll have filmed a review and you'll have my complete view of the first series of the 8th Doctor Adventures. So yeah, that's my quick little thoughts on Phobos. As I said, it's a bit more light-hearted than Immortal Beloved, but at the same time, it's fun. So, let me know what you think of it down below. And until next time, see ya.